Hi there, welcome back to Nico Talks Hockey. Today I'll be talking about who I think are the five best general managers in the entire National Hockey League. Um, there's a lot of good ones, and there's a fair amount of bad ones. But I didn't want to focus on the bad ones today. I may make a video in the future about that, but I really want to focus on who I want to give a lot of respect and credit to, which is some of the best general managers in the entire league. And some of them have the success. A lot of them have a lot of success to back that up, and then maybe some will hopefully have success in the future. But let's just get right into it. I think that what makes a general manager really good, there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think it's sticking to a plan. It's got to be a good plan, obviously, but it's got to be a plan. You obviously have to react to different changes in circumstances, changes in situations, and kind of be on your feet in that regard. But I think that you have to be disciplined enough to stick to a plan and kind of see it out. You have to have lots of different tools that make you really good at your job. You have to surround yourself with really good talent, good scouts, a great scouting department and analytics department. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, and be able to recognize that and not have too much of an ego to stop yourself from doing that. But yeah, you have to draft well. So you have to obviously have a really good scouting department in that regard, and then make the right decisions. So drafting well, I think, is a huge part of that. I think it's picking the right coach, picking the coach that is best for the vision that you have for your hockey team. You have to sign contracts really well. You have to make sure that all the top guys are getting the right amount of money, not making too much, but also making more than, making their fair share, and making sure that guys who are down in the lineup are not making more than they should. Just being really efficient with your contracts. I think that trades are a big part of it. You don't have to fleece people to be good at trades, but you can't consistently lose trades either. So yeah, all that goes into what I think makes a really good team, and knowing also when to pull the trigger. So I have one honorable mention before I get into the top 5 GMs here. My one honorable mention is Bill Guerin of the Minnesota Wild. I really like what Bill Guerin's been building in Minnesota. I think that he was given a bad beat to begin with when I think that it was the smart move to kind of buy out Zach Parise and Ryan Suter, but then he was stuck with those contracts for a long time. Now, a lot of bad GMs, I think, would have that was the perfect scenario for them to be like, oh yeah, this team will not be able to contend for until those contracts are up, and then we can go for it. But Bill Guerin was like, no, we're gonna go for it right now. Now, obviously, they haven't gotten past the first round, but they've pretty much consistently made the playoffs. And they missed it just once in his tenure here. So not only are they consistently, getting to the playoffs, but they're also, they've built a fantastic prospect pool and a kind of group of players that are, 25 or younger. As long as they can keep Kirill Kaprizov, they've got such a great group. Zeev Boyum, they've got a really nice defense, building up with. Once Jared Spurgeon moves on, they can pass the torch on to Boyum and Faber. I'm interested to see what they do with Marco Rossi, and I'm not putting Bill Guerin into the top 5 because I think there are 5 GMs who have, they've been able to have better success and better results. But I really respect what Guerin's done, and he comes in as the one honorable mention here. But moving on to our top 5 here. At number 5, I have Brad Treliving. Now, some people maybe they turn off the video right here. They're like, no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I really respect Brad Treliving's body of work. I think that in his short time as general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think he's done fantastic work. again, you can make excuses. He comes in, he can be just like the whole, I just got here. Um, you know, GMs take a long time to create their vision and what they see for their team. But he realized he had 1 year to be like, okay, let's assess what Mitch Marner is to this team, and should I keep him or not? And he assesses, and he realizes what everyone else has realized, that like the mix is not working. You gotta trade somebody. Mitch Marner is the guy who produces the least when it comes to game time and in those crucial game 5, 6, and 7s in the playoffs. So he goes. He uses that cap space to bring in players who I understand are unproven in the Toronto level, but he brings in Michelli. I really like what he's done with the decor. He's brought in Tanev and Carlo. I think are both top 4 additions. I understand that Morgan Riley probably eventually needs to be upgraded into someone who's a better number 1 D and a power play quarterback defenseman, but that top 4 of Riley, Tanev, McCabe, and Carlo, I really like. I love what he's done with the the goaltending. Bringing in Stolars. I think most of his additions, if not all of his additions, have been very, very beneficial. Bringing Ekman Larson, I understand that he was good in Florida, so it wasn't like some huge big brain move to bring him in, but he's worked out well. So I have a lot of hope to think that Michelli's going to work out, and that Nyes. I really like the Nyes contract. All the contract extensions he's done. Getting Tavares at the number he's gotten at. I think that you can give a ton of credit to Brad Treliving here, and I think Toronto fans have a lot of reason to believe that they're in good hands going forward with Treliving. At number 4 here, I'm moving on to Jim Nill of the Dallas Stars. Jim Nill is not my number 1 GM. I understand that he's won that accolade, the number 1 general manager in the league, by the league for the past 3 years in a row, which is an insane feat. But he's not number 1 in my eyes. I think that he needs to have, he's got to win the Stanley Cup. He's got to win the Stanley Cup here, maybe even multiple, before I would consider him the number 1. But I really like what Jim Nill is doing in Dallas. Like the Wild, I think that they are able to contend now while also having, drafting really well, and hitting on all their picks. It may not be in the top 10, but they're hitting. What he's been able to do, that one insane draft where he got like Ottinger, Hintz, and Roberts in the same draft. Getting Stankman, I know he's no longer Dallas, but, he was able to flip him for Mikko Rantanen. Not a lot of GMs pounce on opportunities like that. I love that Jim Nill has been able to identify when the right time is to pounce, and he's done that. I think he's getting better at that. I think in years past he's kind of waited too long. He sat on his hands a little bit. I like that he's pouncing now. Like Maverick Bork, getting him at the contract that he's been able to, absolute steal of a contract. Wyatt Johnston, finding him like a diamond in the rough kind of player. I think they are building a bit through the draft now, and I think that's better, because I do believe, I've said this before, but my philosophy is that you only win the cup when you build through the draft, or at least that's the vast, vast majority of cup winners, and how you build them and how that's their identity. But so we'll see. Dallas is in a fantastic position going forward. We'll see what he does with Robertson. I think it would be a miss to trade Jason Robertson. And I don't like, what Jim Nill did with the defense this past season. I think the right side was abysmal. He's got to fix that. We'll see what he does there. But yeah, he comes in at number 4. At number 3, this is the 3rd best GM in the entire league. I think it's Kelly McCrimmon of the Vegas Golden Knights. Kelly McCrimmon does not get enough flowers. I don't think his name gets brought up nearly enough as it should be. He is a Stanley Cup winner, and he is the definition of someone who knows when to strike. All these GMs you'll see right at the top, there's only 2 better than Kelly, and they all know exactly the timelines of their teams and the windows of opportunity. Kelly McCrimmon knows when to strike. He understood that, the Sabres, they were going to trade Jack Eichel, and they're like, he's mine. They always, Vegas is, maybe that's ownership, maybe that's like them being extremely aggressive and trying to pursue the shiniest new toy. But I can't not give credit to McCrimmon for finding out, okay, we're going to be that team. We're not just going to hum and haw about it. We're not going to sit on our hands. We're going to go and get it, and we're going to go get our guy. And they've only missed playoffs once in their entire existence as a team. And they've been consistent, just so consistent, and they've won the cup. I believe that more cups are in their future and near in their future. He's done a fantastic job creating this Vegas team, and I expect it to continue for years to come. Moving into our top two, these are the Florida GMs, but in what way do we put them? Well, at number 2, I have Julien Brisebois of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So much respect for Brisebois' ability to turn Tampa Bay. Now, I think a lot of people attribute that to Steve Yzerman, and I won't say that's not Steve Yzerman a little bit, but Brisebois has proven himself, absolutely. Brisebois is an unbelievable general manager. He has shown that he knows exactly how to build a Stanley Cup winning hockey team. He drafts well, even when he doesn't have top draft picks, right? So he's got a great scouting department, and he listens to them, and he makes the right choices, right? He knows how to sign contracts. He rewards players, obviously, once they've won the cups. He rewards them to the contracts that they deserve. But when he was building that up before they won the cups, he signed them to deals that allowed them to efficiently build out that roster, right? He pounces, even if he has to overpay. He understands that those draft picks they have during their cup window are meaningless. Trade them while you can get players that can help you now and win in your cup window. And that Hagel trade, even though it was with my Blackhawks, it was a fantastic move. Even if it seemed like a lot at the time, he pounces with players that he feels and the organization feels is great for their team. I know that the Tanner Jeannot trade was a miss, but I still highly commend him for taking that swing. And I'll always commend GMs. If they're in the position to go for it, then go for it. And I love that for Brisebois, 2-time Stanley Cup champ. I still think their window is open. Like their window is not closed. And with him at the helm, they are in fantastic hands. Even if they decide to go eventually in the rebuild route, he knows what he's doing. And the best general manager in the entire National Hockey League, I don't think it could be anyone else. I understand that Jim Nill, 3-time winner in a row of the I forget what the award is now, Jim Gregory Award or something, but it's Bill Zito. Bill Zito of the Florida Panthers is the best general manager in the entire National Hockey League currently, right? He is... I'd be terrified if I was another GM and I got a call from Bill Zito, because I would just know that I'm about to get fleeced. He always knows what he's doing, and he's also scary. Like, he's just a scary guy. He knows what he wants, and he goes and gets it. He's like Kelly McCrimmon and Julien Brisebois rolled into one. He's so smart because he surrounds himself with smarter people. He has a fantastic pro scouting department that understands that, oh yeah, this player who is undervalued by their team currently, we're going to go and get him at a value that we know is not what he actually, like, we'll go get this player for a second round pick, and he probably is worth a first or more. We're going to go pick this player off waivers, the Forsling pickup, the Verhaeghe, having Verhaeghe in our team. Keeping the core, all their core players are signed through 2030. So he's a wizard at getting all your important players locked up at efficient prices, right? He is a wizard at understanding when's the right time to strike. He goes and gets Matthew Tkachuk in that blockbuster trade that most people at the time called an absolute loss for the Panthers. Joke's on them, because the Panthers made the best move possible in getting the missing piece the missing crucial component to their back-to-back and potentially more cups, right? So Bill Zito knows how to build a hockey team. He is he's someone I look up to because I love I think the job of being a general manager is so cool. And if I were to be involved, if I were to ever, God willing, be involved in hockey management one day, that is my dream job. It is so cool. And so Bill Zito is the best at it in the entire National Hockey League. So that's my top 5. Thank you so much for watching. Those are my top 5 general managers in the NHL. If you liked the video, if you like what I had to say, or if you disliked it, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any GMs that you think are not getting enough credit. You can definitely let me know in the comments. If you could like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And I will see you guys in the next video.